for that new deal. Despite no movement in talks, Coach Brian Schottenheimer expects the four-time Pro Bowler to be in the lineup for the opener against the Eagles in just 2 weeks. But how about owner Jerry Jones? How does he feel?
Mike is a great player, not a good player, but a great player. He knows more than anyone that it's a team thing. And so I know everybody's tired of hearing this, but you've got to put this puzzle together so that you can have some other people out there playing with Michael. That's the art of the deal, and that's why we're trying to get done. And we're trying to make this thing work. But we have all the appreciation in the world for what he can mean to the years ahead. We're proud to have him.
For much more on the Cowboys dilemma, we bring in our NFL analyst, Damian Woody, and our senior NFL insider, Adam Schefter. I'll start with you, Shefty, and a question that you have been asked quite a bit here at this network. Where are we at right now with Michael Parsons and the Cowboys?
Well, my answer hasn't changed at all the last 3 or 4 months because the Dallas Cowboys negotiating stance hasn't changed at all. There have been 0 contract discussions between the Dallas Cowboys and Micah Parsons dating back to late March and early April. Let me know when they start talking contract again. I know we're getting to crunch time. I know the season opens 2 weeks from tonight against the Philadelphia Eagles, and there always could be a last-moment deal the way there was for CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott last summer. This, however, feels different. I know the Cowboys believe Micah Parsons is going to play in that regular season opener, but there are a couple of outstanding issues, most notably his tight back that has prevented him from practicing so far this summer. Also, the issue with the contract, 0 progress at a time where other pass rushers have been paid around the league. There is still a lot that has to be sorted out here. It's not cut and dried. It seems like there's no simple answer, and there is still a lot to be determined.
That's just like, okay, so, and I'll just take Michael. If you got Michael done earlier, could have saved $5 million a year. You're saying the risk of that, the risk of paying you doesn't outweigh the risk of that big injury that can cripple your salary cap paying a guy like Mike Parsons. I personally think I'll take Michael over those other 3 players. I mean, this time. Not always will I say it, but I'm going to take him over the other 3 players because of what he's done.
Would you take Herschel Walker over the players we got for Herschel Walker? I know Herschel Walker wouldn't take.
That's a good comeback. That's a good comeback.
Herschel Walker wouldn't take that part either. But look at the double handful of players we got for one player with Herschel Walker.
Right. But that was Jerry, and that was different because Herschel Walker gave you one element that was a run game, and we had to build a whole team. We were trying to build a whole team. Right now, you have a pretty good offense. You got a pretty good offense. You got an offense put up 35 points a game, 30 points a game, I think. Now, what you're going to need is somebody to get to the passer on the other side. That's why I say I give him value over even the other 3 because I don't know any other 3 that's going to be able to get to a quarterback better than Michael Parsons. And what I have offense makes
yes. Okay, well, let me reply back. What I offered Michael 60 days ago would get those 3 or 4 players. And yet I offered it to him because I agree with you. I was saying right then I wanted him more than 3 players. What he has been offered, what he has been guaranteed, what he has been offered. So it's not a question of whether or not I agree with you or not. I do agree with you very much. And that's a big part of the issue is that at where my offer was. And of course, we do have those issues of him saying, well, my agent wasn't sitting there. And so we don't think it was an offer, and we don't think it's a valid one. You and I would tell them you can do some pretty good business without an agent sitting there. And as you well know, I've done most of my negotiating without an agent in the room. And so I like to do that because where was the agent after we did our deal when many times we needed to work things out and work things out, team life and all that kind of stuff. It was really us. And so that's why I like to be there at this time.
Yeah, and it was, Jerry. But as you said, Jerry, those were different times, and we're so at a different place now. You know, those numbers in those days were pretty much going to stay relative to who was the highest paid at the position, what did you accomplish. Now, the numbers are so astronomical. You know, you said you made a great offer. Was that offer, was what we hear, would it have made Michael, you don't have to tell me the number, but would it have made Michael the highest paid non-quarterback in the league today, which we have all heard that's one of the things that he and his agent wanted. Yeah. Without telling me, would that offer have made?
I can't necessarily say, but I don't want to hedge the question. Okay? It would have made him the highest guaranteed player other than a quarterback in the NFL.
Okay.
Other than a quarterback.
Okay.
Other than the NFL.
The highest guaranteed. Okay. And that's something to start with. I know that's all you're.
Do you remember Emmett's the time that he didn't
right.
held out and we didn't have him for 2 games?
Correct.
That wasn't because I didn't want to give him the highest money ever paid a running back. It was because we were wanting the number to be up with the quarterback. And so at that particular time, that was the holdup. We finally bridged that gap and got that done.
Oh, sure.
And he, of course, became the highest running back ever paid.
Right.
At that time.
And I always thought that that's what he wanted. Because I remember coming to you and said, Jim, I don't care if you give him $1 more than Thurman Thomas, get him in camp. I remember us having that.
That wasn't the case. That was not the case.
So that's what I had. I remember having that argument with you. And I didn't know they were talking about quarterback money.
Yes, sir.
I was that running back money.
Absolutely. Quarterback money at the time. Now, having said that, and by the way,
are you hinting to me that Michael's asking for quarterback money?
No, I'm not hinting anything, but I would say this. The world would know that I want Micah if they knew what I had offered him, and he knows what I offered him. So the world would know that I want Micah to play on the team and that I respect him for what he can bring to the team. And now, as it turns out in this particular case, you say, well, what happens? Well, what happens is that we have a contract, and there's this year remaining under the contract. And then in the NFL, I get at our volition to extend that contract another year. We'll pay him like a franchise and another one after that. So we really got 3 years to work this thing out. And it's a basic contract that's there to go. And I did that with Dak, and we couldn't agree. So Dak played his last year of his contract, and then we franchised him. And so it's exactly what happened with Dak. And we moved forward, and of course, ultimately, we got a contract, made Dak the highest paid player in the NFL. So the precedent is handling it like Dak. But in this particular case, then Micah comes in and plays this year under his contract. If it doesn't, it's very costly for everybody, just a little similar to what happened when we didn't sign Emmett and we didn't do well our first 2 games. He was an integral part of what we were doing. But at that particular time, we got that worked out and went on to win a Super Bowl, as you recall.
Yeah, and Dak is the quarterback, and Jerry, quarterback position, you can really, you even though it's been unfortunate for Dak, he's had some injuries and everything. How much does that play into it? That okay, even Dak, who's a protected guy at quarterback, had those injuries, and now you're talking about a guy like Michael, who's not as protected at running around. So I got to ascertain from what you said to me earlier that this thing also counts into your understanding of this contract negotiation.
Okay, Mike, I'd like to turn the table on you a little bit and say, which is the most the most important increment? The top-rated quarterback,
no doubt,
or the top-rated pass rusher?
Yeah, no doubt, top-rated quarterback, no doubt.
Yeah, okay. So that's what Dak had going for him because he was out of contract. Micah is a pass rusher, outstanding. We need him to win, and we should have him to win. We can have him 3 years, like it is right now. We can have him 3 years without having this agreement. He should though, in my mind, because he'd be the highest guaranteed player ever on defense. That's what he's been offered.
And I'll let it go at that. I'll let it go at that. I'll drop this one thing on you because
when we wanted to send the details to the agent told us to stick it up our ass.
Oh, wait. Now, see, I was
just so you're clear.
Wait. What do you mean? So wait. What do you mean? Because people are going to ask.
Mike and I talked, and then we were going to send it over to the agent. And we had our agreements on term, amount, guarantees, everything. We were going to send it over to the agent. And the agent said, don't bother because we've got all that to negotiate. Well, I'd already negotiated. I'd already moved off my mark over several areas. And so the issue, very frankly, is we've had the negotiation in my mind. And the agent's trying to get his nose in it right now and try to come in there and improve off the mark that we'd already said. It's the mama-daddy deal. You go into mama and she won't do it. And she's the boss, so much. She won't do it. So you run into daddy, daddy says do it. And then you go back in and say, mama, daddy said it was all right. So, mama, daddy did. We've all been there and done that. Well, we've got this thing resolved in my mind for the Dallas Cowboys. And we've got it done. And if the agent wants to finish up the detail, which is should, and do all the paperwork, and he can do that. And we're ready to go. But as far as the amount of money, the years, the guarantees, all of that, we've negotiated that.
Jared, people are going to say, how could you have negotiated that with Michael? And I know they'll take our conversation about negotiation and say, just because it worked with Michael Irvin don't mean it works with Michael Parsons. So what are you going to say to that when they say, well, why not deal with the agent? Why if he said what you said, he said, stick it up your ass. But why not still send that over and we start working off that contract? Regardless, he'll take it, he'll redline what he has to redline and put in what he has to put in, and he sends it back. Why at least have a conversation going, even though it's not mouth to mouth, it's on paper. But why not? Why wouldn't he take it? Why not send something back? And how would you respond if he did take it and chopped it all up and sent something back?
Yeah, Michael. And please forgive me since the subject is Michael. Okay, I have agreed to give more money than has ever been given in terms of guaranteed money than anyone ever has as far as a defensive player. I've done that. Now, I am the cat that writes the check. Okay? Now, Mike has got 3 years with the Cowboys left. He's got 3 years. At some point, somebody has to have the say over the other. At some point, it has to be that way. My job is managing the check. Okay? Micah's got to do the playing. Where's the least important part of this whole equation we're talking about? What is the least incremental part of the whole equation? The attorney or the agent. Okay, he works for Micah. Okay, he's not the principal here in any way. In any way. They're in here to make their percentage. They're in here to basically, yes, advise Micah. Come over to the office and I'll show you exactly what I offered Micah. We got it in the back. It's with all written down, everything to go. Come down and look at that.
I'm going to get over there and see that.
You can sure look at it. You can sure absolutely look at it. Here's my entire point. My point. Who is that basically says this is ultimately recognizing we're trying to come together for an agreement, but absolutely, who is it that can go with it? And so the facts are, I don't know that I've ever been around. I've never tried to buy anything. I've never tried to do anything that I actually